Hey guys, Backyard Farmer Pat here. Guys, I've been having a problem throughout my property with black spot fungus on my papayas, on my papaya trees. It starts off with just a few spots on the underside of the papaya leaf, and then before you know it, the leaves are completely dead, and then they fall to the ground looking like this. So my papaya trees are still loaded, but now I notice that I'm seeing the spots on papaya, and on some of my smaller trees, the papayas have been falling off before they ripen. So my younger trees, I haven't been able to taste the papayas because of this disease. I found an article in from somewhere in Hawaii, a university in Hawaii, because of course, you know, Hawaii, they have a lot of papayas, talking about this disease. They say it doesn't affect the plant. It really just ugly, but guys, it is affected by plants. As you can see, my leaves have been dying back. I only have a very small amount of leaves on the top. In the class I'm taking right now with the University of Florida, IFAS, I mentioned it to the teacher, and she's told me to cut all the leaves off and then treat the plants. So what I did this week with this young papaya that hasn't borne fruit yet, I went through and I cut off most of the leaves. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove every leaf that has a leaf spot and only leave leaves where there's no sign of the leaf spot. So let's do that first. As a matter of fact, I started on a plant yesterday. Let's use that plant so you can see how much I took off. Guys, these two papaya plants, I would say, are about a year and a half old. And as you can see, yesterday I went through, guys, and look at that. I had to take off more than half of their leaves. I think I probably took off 2/3 of the leaves. All the leaves were completely taken up with the leaf spot. I think it all started with the papaya tree I had in the corner that fell over. That one was covered with leaf spot. I think I only got a couple decent papayas of that. And then now you can see this has some big, beautiful fruit. But guys, look, it already has a leaf spot on here. I picked one of this size yesterday because I'm going to make some green papaya pickle. And I know it doesn't affect the fruit. The fruit, there's no worms inside. It still looks good. But guys, this is not really pretty. And I don't like that fact that I had to cut off so many leaves. I did see some leaves, some spots on one of the leaves here. I'm going to have to get a ladder to cut it off completely. But once you get the leaves off, what I'm going to do now, what I did yesterday, is I sprayed it to build up the immunity. I sprayed it with seaweed mixed with 3 aspirin. That actually builds up the immunity of the plant. I also learned that in the new class. That's one thing they recommend, is that you mix the seaweed. Of course, it's only like, I think, a couple of ounces of seaweed per gallon. But I actually mixed that and with 3 aspirins and sprayed all my fruit trees, all my plants, because that's to build up the immunity system. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to come in with some copper fungicide. Copper fungicide fights fungus. If you don't have copper fungicide, you don't want to spend money. What you can also do is use a little hydrogen peroxide, maybe like I have to look up the measurements, but it might be as little as maybe a tablespoon or 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 9 parts of water or 10 parts of water. Of course, if you're going to use hydrogen peroxide, you're going to test a small part of the plant first. But hydrogen peroxide also will kill fungus on the leaves, and it will kill fungus on the soil. Once you remove the leaves, you treat it with the hydrogen peroxide. Be sure that you take all plant material out of the garden. So all of these fungus and these spores will just spread throughout the garden if you're not careful. Thank God, right below it, I have my Okinawan spinach that I haven't harvested yet, but it's an absolutely delicious spinach. It's very full of nutrients. Used to fight a whole bunch of high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. It used to build up the body against a lot of stuff. So luckily, I don't have any spots here, but I think I'm just gonna lightly spray this with some copper fungicide or the hydrogen peroxide, whichever one you choose to use. When you're spraying, be sure to spray both the underside of the leaves and the upper leaves. Just make sure you spray everything. Then you're gonna wait a few weeks. I'm gonna alternate. So if I use hydrogen peroxide today, a week from now I'm going to use the seaweed with the aspirin just to build it up. Then I'm going to check for leaf spots, maybe treat it one more time with the hydrogen peroxide. Then in another week with the seaweed. And if the following week I still don't see any spot, then I won't use any more hydrogen peroxide or copper. I'll just leave it at that. But guys, I love my papayas. You guys saw all year I was talking about my papayas, and I want to taste papayas from every one of the trees. And this one I'm hoping to get to eat some fruit soon. Another thing with my papayas, guys, it didn't affect me too much this past year, but in previous years, let me take one of these small ones off so you can see. In previous years, I had papaya wasps that were stinging the fruit, and you know your fruit is getting stung when you see these little, like the sap coming out like this. That means this has been stung. Once it's stung, the papaya worms, they lay their larvae inside. The larva actually eats all the seeds on the inside, and then they eat their way out of the papaya. So once it gets stung, I just, as hard as it is, I just pick them off, because otherwise I know the larvae are going to be coming up on the inside, and then they're going to eventually hatch, fly out, and then they're going to affect all my papayas. So let me show you one. I found one on the ground. You can see here. You see those two holes right by the stem? That's how you know that there are papaya wasps in there. The papaya larvae are in there, and they're eating the inside, and they'll eventually become the papaya wasp or the papaya flies that will end up damaging all your papayas. And then guys, this is one that I missed, and you can see the papayas, they actually ate their way out. My first year here with the papayas, I had a real struggle. I thought I was going to have to cut all the trees down because those papaya wasps were like eating everything. The only way to cover it is to stop it is either you spray the BT, and hopefully when they chew on it they'll die, or you have to cover the fruit. Covering it with mesh doesn't work, because the papaya wasp or papaya fly actually has a stinger that goes right through the mesh and right into the tree, and I actually saw that firsthand. I was actually doing a video last year when I saw the wasp land on it, and the stinger come out, and it went right through the fruit, so right through the mesh. So mesh doesn't stop it. So this is a copper fungicide that I am going to use, and you can see it treats black spot, early blight, downy mildew, powdery mildew. So it treats a whole bunch of stuff that may also affect your tomatoes and other plants. So I'm going to use it. A lot of these fungal issues happen a lot during rainy season, or if the plant doesn't have proper airflow, that can also build up fungus. So I just used about a tablespoon, or about an ounce, 2 ounces. I just kind of judged it. I probably used like an ounce, and I filled it up, this sprayer bottle, with 1 gallon of water, 1 ounce per gallon of water. But I lost my instructions. The instructions came out, but I believe it's like an ounce. So of course, if you're going to use anything in your garden, read the instructions properly, follow the instructions, and test a small area first. I've used copper fungicide in my garden. I know my plants are pretty hardy, so I'm going to use it now. So let's go check on that papaya in the chicken run area. Let's see if it has leaf spots, and if so, let's go ahead and spray it. Papaya. There's the girls' papaya breakfast they had this morning. All right, so here's a tree that I was telling you about, and guys, I can tell just from before flipping it over that this looks like it has a leaf spot. Well, actually, just a little bit. Let's check the lower leaves. It starts at the bottom and works. Oh, yep, definitely has a leaf spot. Yes, girls, you girls didn't tell me. Yeah, it definitely has leaf spot. So we're gonna take off these lower leaves. We're gonna remove them from the garden. Look at that. So the leaves just keep dying till it looks like this. Okay, girls. All right. I'm gonna be gone in a minute. All right. We're gonna take these leaves out the garden. Gonna cut all the way back, starting at the bottom, working the way up until I no longer see spots. All right. We heard you. Stop. She's not happy. She doesn't want any visitors. Yeah, guys, I'm using up all the space, including the chicken run area. Yeah, you can see this wants to start fruiting. And as much as you hate removing the leaves, if you want to save the tree, you gotta do what you gotta do. There you go, guys. Oh, this one. Yeah, so I'm taking out basically most of the leaves. All right, so here's how you spray after you've taken off all the leaves. Excuse me, girls. This is organic. It's not gonna harm them in any way. You just spray. I spray under the leaves first. Get all the leaves, spray under. Then you spray it over. Get these new leaves that's coming in the very center. Get those new leaves. Oops, let me pump. This is an ortho sprayer. I have a 1 gallon one and a 2 gallon one. I use the 1 gallon one for like insects and spraying like this, like any kind of disease. And then I use a 2 gallon one for fertilizing, because thank God I don't have a whole ton of stuff with disease. It's really just mainly the papaya. All right, so that's good. So a week from now, I'm gonna come back in, spray with the seaweed, and then a week from then, I'm gonna come back in to remove any additional leaves that are there, and that's it. And these are going straight into the garbage outside the house. Another good idea, what I do, I like to spray the ground around it. Oops, I'm missing a cap. My fence. One of my fence caps. All right, that's not a part of the video. Okay. All right, guys, so that's it. I also recommend, if there are any plants underneath, you're gonna spray the plants around it. So I'm just gonna spray these plants around it. Some blue porterweed plants that are popping up here. I have some sweet potatoes that are basically taking over this area. I think it was compost and they just are taking over. All right, guys, so that's it. Also, this can spread to other plants. For the other one of them that I just treated, it had longevity spinach underneath it, and the longevity spinach has the leaf spot. I had to remove the whole longevity spinach and dump it. And you can see here, it looks like my passion fruit has some leaf spot. See those spots appearing, so I'm just going to spray the passion fruit. Thank goodness my pimento doesn't look like it's affected. Pimento looks very healthy, but I'm just going to give it one little spritz. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something new, and hope this gave you a little courage to go on out there and spray. Since I'm still full of copper, I'm just gonna go and finish spraying my other papaya trees, and then I'm gonna go give my tomatoes a spritz, because the tomatoes, some of my tomatoes have fungus because I didn't have them properly pruned, and it was rainy for a period of time, so they got fungus. So I'm gonna go ahead and treat my tomatoes and peppers. All right, guys, till next time, bye now. Bye, girls. Bye. Hey.